Tales from my D&D campaign.
Previously.
This should be the portal to the Fadelands. Let's get the out. The Headless Horseman? Krillin basically chainsaws the armor in half. As they catch up with their allies, Rygax lets them know that he is parting ways.
Did I ever get around to punching him?
No, but we did kill fake Rygax.
Yeah, okay. I guess that's good enough.
Cure my junk! Using the teleport rune previously set up, they return to make sure Polaron Controller and GE7 are okay. Holy shit!
That's my horse. Careful what you say, though. Rainbow Dash understands common.
You made me turn that into a helm of intellect. She may be smarter than Liz now.
That's not true.
According to my observations, Orc-01 remains 14% more intellectually developed than Specimen 742.
Ha! Even the talking shiny can tell.
Still a highly intelligent, horse.
This place is hella boring since you left.
I find it fascinating. But then, I also spent centuries alone in a smaller, less active facility. New armor? I still feel a little guilty about accepting this from you. Nonsense. Look at all you've accomplished with it, while I just gather data.
Well, you gather dust.
Burn!
Ha! You got burned by the orc. New armor better have fire resistance.
Besides, this is just a work in progress. But give me a few decades and it'll make that old thing look obsolete.
Draven shared parts of some of his new creature samples with GE7, so he and the controller could conduct their own independent research. But everyone was anxious to get back to work on finally curing their astral plague, so they got together, and Draven used his new setting-specific gem jump spell to convert their stored Eldritch Eyes into Eldritch Stones, allowing the rare components to teleport back to Vistria with them without losing their power. Their destination was the Basilica in New Vanover, which had labs, artificers, and heavy security, despite the disturbing Hand versus Gauntlet of Sirius schism. But they actually teleported back to Draven's own estate first, to pick up some equipment and just check on things. You encounter a skeleton. Staff.
You going to check on your family?
I'm not going to see my family. I used sending to contact my wife as soon as I heard the words possible civil war. Ivana's already gone to stay with her parents. Silverlode is a proper castle, the seat of the barony, so she should be safer there. And we'll see Tobin when we get to the Basilica. What does she think of her new immortal husband? I'm holding off that discussion till I have a chance to talk it through with her in person, preferably free of the astral plague. A sending spell is only 25 words each way. Is that a ninja? A monitor? That's not a Kuatoa. Look at the shape of the head.
I do not come for violence. I come as requested, as agreed, as arranged.
Arranged by whom?
I am Kunai of the Nozumi Zoku. The Raj Kinokuro sent me to retrieve a metal plate covered in strange markings from Lord Draven of this house. I bring this bag of precious jade, which will fulfill the Raj's offer.
The Ratman tosses you a small brown sack filled with what appear to be pieces of pure green jade. Appraise. Appraise. Green jade of this purity is quite rare, valuable for jewelry or for magic items. The market fluctuates, but both of your estimates come in at around 10,000 gold. I'll pull out the thing. It was the Ytarran plaque next to the Vampire King bolts, right? That's what Lord Kinokuro hologrammed in to trade for.
Yes, I recognize this. This is the item I was shown. Trade accept?
Trade accept.
As the Raj arranged. I must go now.
How long were you waiting here?
I journeyed several weeks crossing the barrier. But once here, I awaited you only 2 hours.
That's a long way to go to not fight.
All that for the Rajas?
And what did he offer you?
The Raj saved my people. They helped us to escape from the monster, Alyssa, and to hide from the many eyes of her servants. This service is nothing compared to what they have done for the Nozumi Zoku. Your world smells strange. It is not unpleasant, but it seems wrong. The sweet scent covers everything. I think even your enemies must smell as sweet as friends. I must go back. Back to the Shadowfell? You must have a natural portal. Where would that be? We do not reveal such things to outsiders. Do not try to follow me. Okay, well, thank you. I follow him. I take a 10 on my stealth. Gunai is sneaky. He's competent. He's not in your superhuman league. The Ratman heads northeast off the estate grounds, and after a few hundred meters, he doubles back, circling to the northwest, where he stops, taking a minute to equip and straighten out a traveling pack full of gear. That done, he sets out in a southwesterly direction at a more deliberate pace.
Seems like he's hiking long distance.
Forget it then. Climbing onto the platform mounted atop Rainbow Dash's armor, they ride from Draven's estate over to the metropolis of New Vaniver. You encounter a skeleton.
Mahar! I contacted him once I felt up to casting proper spells.
I can't believe I let you get kidnapped. Yeah, good job, whoever you are.
Well, my friend, your duty is not yet over. Therefore, it cannot have failed.
Joy.
He sounds sarcastic, but trust me, he is thrilled.
Even with Zahir's skeletal guardian disguised and their orc friend lying safely out of sight, Rainbow Dash drew countless curious eyes as the party made their way to the lonely tower that marked the entrance to the Basilica, headquarters of the Hand of Sirius. What is the Hand of Sirius? We're a religious order following the goddess of protection.
And law and order.
Priests, spies, and artificers protecting humanity from Kuatoa spies and from supernatural threats. Ooh, secret spy staircase.
Underground again.
Orcs don't like underground?
Depends. Depends if there's a fight.
This way, father.
It's been so long.
Black's dad, William Gabriel Black, had been sleeping a lot as he gradually recovered, but he definitely seems better than when you found him a week ago.
What was it like for you working with Rygax for so long?
Withholding information until you specifically ask. You should be like, why didn't you tell me Rygax was a dick? Imagine he answers, you didn't ask.
Oh no.
Look, little ones sometimes form strong opinions, not necessarily based on fact, and he holds on to them dearly.
I understand Rygax may not be what you expected. He's old and has known more beings than all of us together have ever met, many of them strange and ancient, and yet he is so alone, always alone.
And kind of a dick.
You have no idea what Rygax has been through, what he has sacrificed for the sake of others, and his wisdom is... he knows so much. If that were lost, it would be a terrible tragedy.
But bit of a dick. This place feels emptier than usual, thanks to the gauntlets, I guess. Civil War, Sirius split, all kinds of fun. Can the world ever not break when we're gone for 10 minutes? Technically, this shit was brewing a week ago, but you guys passed through Vistria into the Shadowfell so quickly that you didn't get much of a chance to run into it. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do we give a shit? Well, according to my notes, 0 fucks left to give, cure my junk. Damn right. I still have fucks left to give, but it's past time we get cured. I can deal with the gauntlet and claim my ancestral lands later. We get cured, I can get my point of constitution back, then we can fix the country or whatever. Angel! Draven, glad to have you back.
Oh look, some people who take their oath to Sirius seriously.
Excuse me, I'm still here.
Your only loyalty is to your solifaction chamber, and it's too big to move.
I take great offense at that, Higgins. It is a very large apparatus, but ANS Primum Linnea won't isolate itself. Sure. So, we gotta cure my junk? I've been researching this almost every spare moment since we first teleported to Vistria. My theory of how to cure us of the astral plague, the space aids, is essentially complete. I've studied ley line energy, the energy of our bodies. I've continued refining my tools, used soil samples from all 3 worlds to filter out the base frequencies of the planes. But I've got a lot of machines to build, hopefully with some help from the artificers here.
So, what do we do?
I need you guys, with Zahir's help, to find and capture something incorporeal but still alive. Or undead. Whatever. Based on my theories, studying that, or possibly using it, should make possible the actual extraction of the plague. So you want us to find a ghost. An incorporeal creature. Preferably not a friendly one.
What, are you planning to torture it?
Not torture. Science. So who can I get to help? I mean, unless you wanted level 1 or 2 artificers as assistants, the main options are Thiswell, Higgins, and young Midgard. Though, from what you've heard, you doubt you could get permission to borrow Thiswell from his project. That was the Amulet of Dialia? Chaos Amulet? Right. But you could borrow either Andrew Midgard or Samantha Higgins for a couple weeks to help with your astral plague cure. Midgard's the one who made that golem that went on a rampage.
Oh yeah, that guy.
I'd go with Rampage, dude. That thing was f***ing awesome. Nobody likes Higgins.
Yeah, what a bitch.
Who is Higgins?
No idea. Higgins is definitely more experienced. Yeah, but he's got some real creativity, as long as we babysit him.
And if we're babysitting him, he can't unleash another death golem.
Also good. I mean, he might cause a giant explosion and summon Gozer, but what the hell? Let's bring Midgard onto the team. He actually seems a lot more disciplined than he was when you first met. Not that it's a very high bar. Wait, what is this astral power source? Surely there is some way we could contain it, rather than just releasing it. Oh yeah, we're gonna get along fine.
I guess I'll take along with the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, though, if we need something large reduced into smaller pieces, I'll give you a call. Mahar could not do much without me, but he has kept an eye out in my absence. There does seem to have been an increase in paranormal activity in this city. Very Ghostbusters.
I'm a Ghostbuster in my own right. Pong.
Okay, what about Dark Ancients? They're practically ghosts.
Enku considers them abominations, so we would seek to destroy them, not guide them.
Hopefully when they die, they can't come back as, like, ghostier ghosts.
No, I do not think that's how it works.
Here we are. The Miller and her family moved out 2 nights ago. They didn't feel comfortable, and I suspect there's something here.
You think it's a ghost? If there was a horror draining the life force of all who see it, I think we would have heard. Yes, but there is a wide spectrum between a confused, lost spirit and a dread ghost. Let us find out.
If you need me to kill something, no problem. But that's not the plan, is it?
No, Draven needs us to take it alive.
Quote-unquote, alive. First plan is to try to calm it down, so I can handle it in a more appropriate manner. If that does not work, things may get a little tricky. Zahir sets up some incense.
This is more Mora's wheelhouse than Angel's. She sits down at the table, pulling out the other chair for the mysterious presence, and tries to coax it out.
We know you are here. Please, come out and tell us what you want. There is a regular, recurring creaking sound from the mill's machinery, which makes sense, though actually, it's pretty odd that the miller left with the blades unlocked.
What were they milling here?
Flour, mostly.
You know that stuff is explosive?
Fine-grained flour dust suspended in air? Yep, that's how you get real-life fireballs.
So nobody light a match.
Flour dust can be highly explosive. It does require just the wrong circumstances, though. Zahir pulls up a crate so he too can sit at the table, while still leaving a seat open, and he begins talking to Mora, though clearly their real audience is the supposed spirit. I wonder what would cause the spirit of one who has passed on to become so agitated that they would frighten the poor family out of the mill. Perhaps they found something, some lost property that did not belong to them, or perhaps they did something. It took some action, which brought back painful memories of a former life. But what possession might a person have left behind in the windmill? Something intentionally hidden that was found?
Maybe they milled themselves. Sorry, this is interesting to me as a player, but Little One is instantly bored.
As you get bored and look around at the machinery and such, you notice some of the white powder spilled around in a wasteful fashion, and you find powdery footprints leading to and from a lever, which looks like it could stop this whole thing.
Those are rushed footprints. If I had to guess, I'd say somebody rushed over here, turned it on or off, then rushed out.
Well, it's on now, so did the miller turn it on before leaving?
Or turned it off before she ran, then the ghost turned it back on.
I throw some flour in the air, see if there's a disturbance.
A glass candle holder from above falls and shatters on the table.
See invis?
You don't spot anything invisible, but then you notice the flowery clouds behaving a little oddly.
See, Little One, Ghost Hunter.
Get out! You get out. A puff of flour smacks you in the face, covering you in white. You didn't even think there was that much loose flour lying around.
He's a ghost. Get him.
I doubt this entity has reached a point where it can do much harm. Yet.
What do we need to have happen here? Are we trying to get it to materialize?
Ideally, I'd like to get them talking, but materializing would be a good step.
Moore is going to try to fascinate it. Bardic ability.
As she plays her violin, Little One sees a plainly dressed woman appear up in the loft, though she's still invisible to the rest of you. Zahir sets an unlit candle on the table. You should come down here. Tell us what is distressing you. Something is keeping you from finding your peace. Your pain is trapping you here. We'd rather be trapping you somewhere else.
Why do you care?
'Cause you're not having so much fun now?
They blamed me, persecuted me, when I was the victim.
Who killed you?
That's not the point.
Whoa, defensive?
They all killed me, all of them.
Did you fall off the roof?
Did you die in a fire?
What were you the victim of? What did they do to you?
Him. I was a victim of him.
Only Little One can see her reach back behind her, but the rest of you can't miss the sleeping bag she tosses down.
Is anybody in it?
I'll check. Somebody else look. Apparently I've got flour in my eyes.
I get 32.
I don't think we need a spot check.
The sleeping bag is empty, but Krill notices some unusual stitching.
Oh, I've seen patterns like that on the clothing of refugees. It's a Verandi style.
Did this guy have a name?
I don't remember his name. I can barely remember mine. I am Melissa. I live near the refugee camp. Rough area, so I carried a knife. One day, a man attacked me, grabbed my purse. I struggled. I stabbed him. The judge agreed it was self-defense, but everyone, the way they looked at me, they blamed me, like it was my fault. They all thought I was a killer, and nobody would... They were all... I couldn't take the way they looked at me.
Though the woman is upset about the events she is discussing, the environment within the tower had grown much less perturbed. It seemed like she had never been able to talk to anyone neutral about this when she was alive.
So she killed a mugger. Then later, she killed herself. That guy was totally an asshole. You were right to kill him.
I know. They wanted me to. They all wanted me to. Then acted like it was my fault. Like I did something wrong by defending myself.
Is the guy who attacked you a ghost too?
A ghost. I am a ghost. Yes, so is he.
Is he here, too?
No, he ran away with the miller, and I can't follow because
She is not strong enough to go out during daylight. At some level, the spirit knows that, but she may not be capable of understanding it. Maybe Melissa's tied to the sleeping bag, possessing it somehow. What if we take it outside?
Yeah, let's try that. Nope, I don't think she cares. We should really have talked to the Millers. I'm down to Miller. Got it.
We're looking to find ghosts, not make ghosts. Heading into town, they quickly learned that a fair number of people remembered Melissa's incident about a year ago. Woman fatally stabs Verandi man for trying to pickpocket her. Details varied, but many of the time felt she'd been walking around that area with her knife at the ready, almost looking for trouble. Court ruled it self-defense and set her free, but the rumors persisted, and friends and relatives of the dead man had hassled her, shamed her, even warned others not to do business with her until she disappeared. The miller, then as now, had been using the extra space in her mill house as very cheap bed and breakfast for those who had a coin or two to spend on shelter and a warm meal, and were willing to tolerate the noise. Maybe Melissa's assailant was just passing through?
Easier to get away with crimes if you're planning to leave town anyway.
Yes, I suppose it would be.
After fleeing her home, the miller was staying with her father. Hello, did you get rid of that ghost already?
Well, we'll have her out by nightfall. Question, how many people have died in your mill?
What are you talking about?
Nobody's died in our mill?
Not in the last year? Any refugees?
No. I don't know what you heard. Hannah's had a number of short-term boarders. I don't know if something happened to any of them afterward.
I'll cast detect thoughts on the sly. Going straight for mind invasion. Okay.
I'm confident your beguiler skills outclass their commoner powers.
What is this? Do you remember anything about a woman called Melissa?
Hannah, the miller, since her father retired some time ago, is not lying. She doesn't remember the unfortunate woman. But then you feel another entity listening in.
I repeat the rumors about Melissa and her trial to them.
When you bring up that story, the father does remember it, but it had nothing to do with our mill.
And their thoughts?
He's heard several versions, all third hand, but he retells the one he believes is closest to the truth. From her surface thoughts, Hannah doesn't remember it at all, but that other presence you felt was still fuzzy, but you can tell it's listening intently.
So, the ghost is living with you now. How do you deal with him?
Is something wrong with your friend?
We ran away from the ghost.
Not from all of them. Something followed. It's definitely there. Oh, yeah.
Spirits can become attached to places or to people.
Yeah, this presence I sense, I think it's coming from around Hannah.
Hello, can you hold still for a moment?
She was getting nervous, but being told to hold still definitely does not make her want to hold still.
I just moved to stand behind her.
Wait a minute now.
Guys, sit the f*** down. Thank you. Yes, I look crazy.
You successfully look crazy. Her father is too old for this kind of thing, but despite that, it looks like it wouldn't take much more to provoke him to try to grab you or something.
We don't mean any harm. He's the Orc Slayer.
He's actually a good guy.
Subtlety's not my thing.
A little kid in the background is like,
The Orc Slayer? Yeah, and our friend here is a shepherd, a priest of Anku. He's the expert on ghosts and possession.
no pressure. With a small motion, Zahir casts the shepherd's alternate version of Turn Undead. He touches Hannah's forehead, and she jerks back. The power of Christ compels you. Hannah doesn't pass out, but all the strength goes out of her knees, forcing Little One to catch her. You feel something pass through you, all the way through. It comes out the other side, like Taco Bell.
It doesn't feel right. I should have gone with the soft taco shells.
As with Melissa, this spirit is invisible, but Little One can see him. So can I when I flip on my eye patch. He does look ethnically South Verandi.
He possesses people? That's evil in my books. Let's trap him.
May want to find out why.
What were you doing in there?
I just wanted to get away from her.
We can help with that. Come with us.
Push comes to shove, I'm sure we can find a use for two ghosts.
There are two sides to every story.
What happened? Well, she killed me.
She says you attacked her, and that people persecuted her after for some reason.
I don't know what happened after, but I did sort of attack her. I was trying to steal her purse, but she was ready for it. She didn't look so dangerous.
So, she's a psycho?
I tried to grab her arm, but she stabbed me until I died. And yet she's still chasing me. She still bears a grudge just for grabbing her purse.
It's all just a hilarious misunderstanding.
She's obviously got issues.
And he died violently.
Lots of people die violently and don't become ghosts.
God, I hope not.
Everyone we've ever killed. Even the shepherds don't know exactly why one soul may linger while another clings to this world, though their situations may appear the same. Would you like to help us with something? It may be uncomfortable.
It'll hurt less than being stabbed multiple times.
Sometimes it is less about what you do than what your intention is. If you can bear a little more suffering, trying to help my friends among the living, that may help you to let go, to move on to where your soul belongs. That sounds really weird, but being a ghost is really weird, and I'm so tired. If you can stop her from chasing me, I will do what I can to help your friends. Do what you need to do with me.
Everyone else in the household is weirded out, but this sounds fine to the PCs. In order to move any real distance, though, he needs to sort of attach himself to somebody, as he had attached to the miller.
Hop on.
Just think of it like piggyback. I'll do it.
For whatever reason, he'd rather accept Krillidin's offer than the crazy guy. They escort Krillidin and his passenger back to a lab space Draven had requisitioned deep within the artificer wing of the Basilica. How does it feel? Doesn't feel like much of anything, or except kind of like somebody looking over my shoulder.
That's why the miller didn't realize. She was already scared out of her mind.
Scared out of her mill.
Could you come out? Lord Draven needs to study you. Invisible?
Yep, he's out.
Hi, I want to thank you for volunteering to help us cure this horrible disease. I do have to warn you, parts of the research will be uncomfortable, possibly painful. I don't know yet. It is research. And I cannot promise that this will free you.
I haven't felt anything in so long. I'm sure I can endure a little. Do what you must.
Draven and Midgard had already been hard at work setting up the small mountain of equipment for the prospective cure, and for this, hopefully final, leg of the research. Chemistry gear, blown glass, tubes to concentrate the quintessence of whatever, to concentrate it in a crystalline matrix, bare wooden chair, dish-like helmet, spinning stabilizer, lava lamp. The ghost's ability to attach to people is perfect. By studying that, we may be able to reverse engineer it.
The process.
Question though, what does this one do? If you do a good job, I'll explain it to you later.
It does nothing but look cool. It's not even hooked up.
I'm dying to know, because it doesn't even look like it is hooked up. But while the geeks try to do a science, the others are like,
Let's go to the windmill.
And f*** up some ghosts.
they get back a couple hours before nightfall, when Zahir believed she'd be able to leave the building, possibly to pursue her attacker/victim once more.
Did you find him? I don't see him.
Why do you follow him around? What do you do when you find him?
She's obviously crazy.
We found the man.
He did admit to attacking you.
You see? It's all his fault. Where is he?
Well, you did kill yourself after he was dead, so accountability kinda goes both ways. Just saying.
I told you she's a bit crazy.
It's all their fault. I didn't do anything wrong. I had to protect myself from the refugees. I had to stab him. Why could they not understand that?
We can't let her out. She's gonna take it out on the town.
She's getting a bit creepy now.
This seems like a bad cycle. I am concerned that if she keeps up like this, she may in fact become something worse. That's what I said.
How do we exorcise her?
We can just kill this thing. I'll do it if you want. I bet Moonbolt will do it.
I think that's excessive, but I'm doubting that we can just talk her down anymore. He gets his candle back out.
I don't really feel like moonbolting her.
She just needs a couple hours of therapy. That probably would have worked better while she was alive.
Are you taking his side? Their side?
The ghost climbs back up the ladder.
Protect me for a moment.
Zahir lights the candle, a pale blue flame, and he begins to sweep his arms around, creating a wind you can see but not feel.
Like the opposite of normal wind?
The ghost can feel it, though. It's beginning to buffet her, to pull at her.
No! What are you doing? You're just like them!
She starts launching bedrolls down at Zahir.
Seriously?
Grilladin, think fast! Sleeping bag streaks down toward the candle.
Out of my complex array of tactical options, I'll shoot it out of the air.
Okay, your arrow splits in two and pins it to the wall. Another bedroll, black.
I put my body and shield in front of it, protecting the candle.
Bedroll flops down impotently off her shield and armor. Angel, bedroll.
Angel runs up the wall, spike chain, slashes it out of the air.
Slice clean through. Two uneven halves land harmlessly on either side of Black and Zahir. She lobs one high, over top of Black. Little one?
I mean, the obvious move would be to shield block. Searing charge!
She runs out pretty quick. There were only 5. The phantom wind is whipping up into an intangible cyclone, filling the structure.
Why does everyone hate me?
I know you don't understand, but you will find peace. If only you can let go.
Let go of this world.
Let go of blame.
and shame.
Let go of the windmill.
The ghost is swirled around, sucked down from the upper deck to the table, disappearing into the candle, which snuffs it.
No!
Yay? Yes. Yay. Can you help her? I hope so.
Is it bad that this is not the weirdest thing we've ever done? Like, not even close.
What is the weirdest?
I don't know. Who cares? Cure my junk!
Zahir and Mahar take their leave after helping test and analyze their incorporeal volunteer and his ability to attach himself to another being. However, you have noticed some increase in the level of astral energy coming off your bodies since you got back, getting more powerful. Mostly from your own body.
Have you been healed since the Headless Horseman fight?
Yes, I fast healed that right away. Now that we're back, I take a blood sample every day to run some tests, including observing how fast the cut heals.
Could your Fountain of Youth be interacting with the Astral Plague?
I've thought of that, but I don't have a good magical physics theory on how that would work.
Do you think the spring might have put something, some living thing, inside of you, and that's what heals you?
Yeah, then that organism might be affected by the plague.
Or it could be a backlog of energy because I've been the one carrying the seed for all these months, but it's probably the immortality.
That immortality's gonna kill you.
Yeah, irony. Okay, I'm gonna take some time out and forge a breastplate using most of my vial of the black sand.
The negative energy sand from that desert necro whatever?
Yes, I'm gonna smelt that into the breastplate to try to use the negative energy properties to block any astral energy that I'm leaking.
Cool. That's ingenious.
Thank you. Midgard isn't allowed to touch any of it. I mean, nobody's allowed to touch the black sand. It might as well be radioactive. But Midgard isn't allowed to touch any of the equipment that I use to handle the black sand. Safety procedure noted.
I can help with the smithing.
I can help handle the sand, because it deals, what?
1d6 negative energy damage per round. Do not breathe any in.
Well, my armor has 5 negative energy resists, double that when I go immobile, so I can stand there and move stuff around safely.
Lord Draven, Brother Black, the High Priest would like to see you.
We have started to hear rumors of Glacier and other nearby hamlets of Evans Orchard and Dry Meadow burning down, with hundreds of deaths.
That was all our fault.
Hey, I wouldn't put it that way. It was all connected to us.
We destroyed the horseman. No idea what happened to the weapon.
Burned down by what? What do the rumors say?
All manner of nonsense.
Draven and Black had already reported the Headless Horseman incident to the High Priest. The new factor here was the spreading tales of the event.
We'll have to start spreading some kind of rumors of our own. Preferably simpler and more understandable than the truth. Because even now, people on both sides of the brewing conflict begin to blame each other for sparking violence. Even blame the hand or the gauntlet. That's a spiral we must strive to avoid.
We have to make up a story other than the Headless Horseman?
I'm not saying that, necessarily. There is always a virtue to the truth. But when the truth sounds like fairy tales and legends, I worry that the malicious rumors may sound more believable.
What's the word with the organization?
We've got multiple versions of the glacier burning rumors from up north and west, from the counties more sympathetic to the anti-monarchists.
Burned by the Headless Horseman?
Nah, we've heard everything from mobs with pitchforks to bleeding orcs, but nothing like that.
It did kill everyone that saw it.
Some of the nobles in that area have been pushing a storyline that Glacier and the other hamlets were strongly against the treaty. They aren't saying that royal forces killed those people or started fires. Most people wouldn't believe that. Not yet. But spreading the idea that the destroyed villages were on their side allows everyone to draw their own conclusions about what caused it. Over time, it may just work. But there's a second set of rumors, which we think might have been started by this Gauntlet of Sirius. That version suggests that towns were destroyed in an attack by a small dragon.
That sounds like what this guy was suggesting we do.
That could very well be Hanley's own version of information control. He doesn't have you, so he doesn't know what really happened. But his instinct is the same as mine. Try to establish a narrative which doesn't feed this divisive conflict.
I think I like that, actually.
You know, people tend to band together when they hear dragon.
Don't blame it all on dragons.
Dragons and everything derived from dragons are terrible and evil and should be hunted down.
Okay. Do you not remember my vision about dragons gathering and burning down castle?
Oh, right. That's bad.
Don't f***ing blame a dragon. God knows what triggers that friggin' thing.
People go dragon hunting, actually find one, spark a backlash.
I don't believe Al had the power to make it happen, but that doesn't mean he didn't see some way to trick us into triggering something. Were you able to contact the Earl?
Hanley, our contacts came up dry on that one. We're the organization. We find people. We knew Hanley's reputation for spycraft, but he's surprised even us. The one thing I can say is, if we haven't been able to find him, yet, that also means he's been taking very little action. Probably just watching and hiding for now. And he must have access to some pretty powerful anti-divination jujitsu as well.
The story they eventually agree on is, a monster from the Shadowfell emerged, razing several villages, but the Orc Slayer and the Hand of Sirius tracked it down and destroyed it. This had the virtue of being essentially true, but also simple and unburdened by unnecessary details, like the legend of the Headless Horseman.
If people speculate about what the monster was, many will skip right over the question of whether the rest is true.
Sneaky. Our agents will spread the word and see how it competes with the more dangerous versions. But after more than a week of furious work, Draven and Midgard, with help from Little One's smithing talents, Angel and Mora's Arcana, and Black's Wisdom,
Now with +6.
have assembled an array of sophisticated equipment filling almost a quarter of a 40 by 40 foot vault-like workspace deep beneath the Basilica. A contraption, I prefer the term apparatus. An apparatus which could, in theory, extract the astral plague from their bodies, curing the very illness which drove the ancient Ytarrans extinct, and which has been kept at bay up until now only by the protection of the white spirit seed, albeit boosted by the Rajas. Once, Angel had been separated from the others and the seed for less than a week and had lost a point of constitution in that time, which could not be restored in any way unless her astral plague were removed.
Extract it without crushing us to death.
Correct. And I get to watch.
I should go first.
Come on, I want to ride the chair. Is it safe to be doing this in the Basilica?
Oh yeah, Higgins is very serious about safety. This is a sealed room, reinforced walls, blast vents leading to another underground chamber, so there's not even a direct chimney to the city above us. We're 200 feet below street level, minimum 40 feet of solid stone in every direction. State-of-the-art alchemical and artificing laboratory. The only peoples in danger should be the ones in the room. Great. Very comforting.
I'm still worried about my stupid vision. Maybe we should move this whole thing elsewhere.
You saw the Basilica being destroyed?
I can't say.
But you didn't see this equipment, did you?
Well, no.
If anything, I bet Black saw the place destroyed by the rebels.
I mean, where else would we do it?
I dunno.
What's the worst thing that could happen? Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
Hey, if Stay Puft has hit points, I'm down for it.
Empty your thoughts.
My thoughts are, if Stay Puft has hit points, I'm down for it.
This place has weathered so many explosions already. What's one more?
Okay, let's do this shit. Anybody who doesn't have the astral plague, get the hell out of here.
Okay, Mora and I leave town.
Leave town.
If we see a mushroom cloud, we'll come running.
Maybe not quite that far.
After all this work, I really want to see it, but...
Alright, I'm first on this ride.
Next time on Tales from My D&D Campaign.
Oh, son, is that an orc? I ask rhetorically.
She's with us.
It may cause problems if she wanders around the city. Actually, aren't you guys missing your arms trainer?
Technically, Kira did run off to join the gauntlet.
Hey Liz, you're bored. You want to train some humans to fight?
Depends. They want to learn?
She'll do great, but, don't kill anyone.
Of course.
And don't break too many limbs. This way, Liz.